If aliens come to Earth, do you think that we survive as a species?
Yes,
You do?
I
Oh, I
do.
think we're dead as a doornail, man. I think if aliens show up here, there's no way we're surviving anything. Like, it's over.
I think the main reason why we survive is, I mean, I've seen a lot of movies. You know what I mean? And I
Right, those are
don't,
movies.
I don't think you can go into another world's home field and just run it over. You know, like if someone Death Starred us, and just blew us up, the entire planet, okay. But to come and take over, I don't know. I don't know if that's happening.
I think you've seen too many movies. I think the
Probably.
reality is, which history has played out even on our own planet, that generally when a more advanced civilization encounters a less advanced civilization, it doesn't go well for the less advanced civilization. I think that if aliens show up here, we're done. Like it's only a matter of they just going to destroy us or are they going to just make us like do all their work?
I guess that's kind of the thing is I'm not entirely sure that, you know, that I think aliens that come here would be that much better than us. Is that naive? Probably, but like where are they getting this technology from? Like what have they been doing for the last 300 years?
Well, dude, they've been probably traveling here. I mean, I think if you think about how big the universe is and the amount of technology it would take another civilization to get here, they're probably going to hand us our ass pretty quickly. Like, I don't even think it's going to be a struggle. The
I
amount of
mean,
technology needed just to travel here is probably like leaps and bounds about what we have. Like, we've got nothing. We got nothing. There's nothing we can do.
sure we do. We send astronauts into space and then we leave them there. It's fine.
So we're gonna send like yeah we do send astronauts into space and then just leave them there.
It's terrible.
Do you think that they understood at all when they were? So we're talking about the astronauts who are currently stranded somewhere. I'm not entirely sure, but like that's probably the worst place that I would want to be stranded. Like you're stranded where? In space? Oh, nobody's coming to get you. Like yeah, we'll be there in. Okay, if you were stranded, what is the acceptable amount of time for someone to say that they're gonna come get you?
I mean, I mean, I guess it would all depend on supplies. Like, if you're telling me that it's going to be like 6 months to come get me, and I have like 6 months worth of supplies, I'm probably freaking out a little bit.
Yeah, I guess they have enough supplies. But could you imagine being like, "Hey, I'm stranded. When are we gonna come get you?" About a year
I
and
don't
a
know.
half.
Yeah, right. They look at their fake watches. Well, we'll be there in 2037.
I
Oh,
would. I know that it's not possible, but I would if I was on the International Space Station. Someone tell me, "Yeah, we're gonna come get you in about 18 months." I would start to like wonder if I could just jump out. Like, could I just jump out and get back?
well, I'm going to sound completely ignorant, but what did that guy, the Red Bull guy, jump from a while back when he jumped from outer space?
I don't think it was anywhere close. I don't
Okay.
understand the stratosphere and the atmosphere and the lithosphere or whatever all those spheres are, but I don't think it was anywhere close to where the space station was because he had enough gravity that he still came back to Earth, whereas the space station isn't being pulled
Yeah.
back into Earth. So it's much farther away, I think. Anyway, I polled the audience. Everyone says no. The question that I asked is if aliens arrive on Earth, do you think we survive? Everybody says no. So you're the only person who thinks that we survive aliens arriving on Earth.
Shoutouts. I don't mind. Do you mind uncomfortable silences? I don't mind them at all.
Oh, I can't handle it.
Oh,
I
I don't
can't
mind
handle it. I can't handle. Okay, how many seconds of silence can you handle with another person?
as many as we need to. I don't mind it at all. I'll eventually get the hint and be like, all right, well, conversation's over. I'll walk away now.
I don't. I don't think I'll tolerate more than 5 seconds of silence with somebody. If I have 5 seconds of silence during a conversation, I'm walking away. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I try to actually actively end conversations before we even get to the silence part.
Yeah. See, I'm cool with it. Like I mean, obviously you don't want silence. It's not probably a good thing if you're having a jovial conversation, but I'm okay with long silences. It doesn't bother me any.
Oh, I can't stand it. I'm talking seconds. If I have more than 3 seconds of silence, I'm getting out of that conversation. I don't know how you just stand there. Like, what do you do? Just keep looking at them?
Yeah, it's really not that bad. I mean, you just wait for someone to say something. If nobody says something, then all right, I'll see you later.
Oh gosh, I can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not that awkward in the moment. It's not like you're standing there for 2 minutes looking at the other person and they're looking at you. Just, well, I got nothing to say.
To me, every second of silence is 5 minutes.
Wow.
That's how it feels to me. It's an eternity. I can't handle silence.
Yeah, tell us how you really feel. All right, let's see here. Let's start off with some Matthew Christensen, Matthias Villabo, Kobe Haddad, Beckley Boy. Don't think that's a real first name. I don't know. But Beckley.
That's a real first name.
Who knows?
Beckley. Maybe.
The Baxter. Connor Johnson. Angelina Tarcoma. Thomas Leewardsburg. Nahar Inkster. Wayne DeLoffner. Lucas Pellier. And Alexander Rivera. I only picked literally the hardest names I could to say, but that's part of the fun now, right?
It is amazing to me that after all of these episodes that you still read the shoutouts like you've never heard any of these words before.
Absolutely.
It would be like
Absolutely.
I have a computer keyboard in front of me. This is you reading the shoutout. Backspace. Enter. Shift. Page up.
Yeah, well,
Numlock. Like, you have no idea what the word means or if it's a real word. Like, you're just saying the thing that's in front of you. I like it.
Well, let's, we kind of have a somber section of the show now. We have 3 different obits to talk about.
Oh,
3 different...
People
are dropping here.
People are dropping. People are dropping fast. And there was another one just a second ago that maybe you didn't see. So
yeah.
Who are your obits on your thing?
Oh no, I got the latest one. But we'll save that.
The latest one. That might be.
Oh yeah.
Let's decide who's the biggest. So list them off and then let's talk about them.
Kristofferson, Dikembe Motumbo, and Pete Rose.
You also forgot Maggie Smith.
Oh, and Maggie. Sorry, Dame Maggie Smith.
Dame Maggie Smith. I don't know what that means. It's hard. Okay. Pete Rose bigger than Dikembe Motumbo and Kristofferson. I think Pete Rose is probably the most well-known. Maybe not. I think in terms of just being well-known, I think that Maggie Smith is probably ahead of Pete Rose internationally. But in the United States, I think Pete Rose is probably the biggest.
See, I would say internationally, Dikembe Motumbo would probably be the most notable. Because, he was... for a decade, he was like one of the best basketball players in the world.
Yeah, but he wasn't the type of athlete that his career kept going after he was done. Like Pete Rose, it only because of the scandal that was involved around him. Like his name stayed up there. I don't think that a lot of people who were like 18 to 25 now, people who were born after his career ended, know who he is.
They know him for like Pete Rose. It's like they know Dikembe Motumbo for the commercial, Not in my house. No, no, no.
Oh, yeah. He had a great no. Yeah, he had but I don't think he's Pete Rose level. Kristofferson, I think that we can agree, is probably the least famous of those people. Even though he was very influential, but I think that he was at the bottom of that heap.
It's hard to say that he is number 4 because he's probably the most influential in terms of what he gave to the arts industry. Probably the most influential person on this list.
He wrote a lot of songs, yeah.
Yeah, he's part of one of the most iconic country groups ever. You know, he was an actor. He was a Rhodes Scholar. I mean, he went to frickin' Oxford, which I don't think people even realize.
No, he's a smart guy. Yeah.
So, anyways, and he was in the Blade trilogy. Just FYI.
I will say that Dame Maggie Smith is somebody that has been old the entire time I've known her.
See, I was having this conversation about Kris Kristofferson. I feel like Kris Kristofferson has been 55 ever since I've seen him. Like, he's never changed.
He's always been old. He's always been old. The both of them have always been old. I would agree with that.
I didn't know who Dame, like, I didn't know the name. I didn't know the name until just recently. You know, I always knew the face, but I didn't actually know who she was until just recently.
Yeah, Harry Potter, Hook, some other stuff. I'm not sure.
Well, she was most recently. What's the Downton Abbey? That's where I first kind of recognized her from.
I always think it's Downtown Abbey.
Everybody
but I guess
does,
it is
there's
Downton. Okay, so a lot of celebrity deaths, man.
Yeah, kind of wild. Yeah, and this is a breaking news episode because the Pete Rose stuff just broke within the last hour here.
All except for Dikembe Motumbo, though, lived a pretty long life. I think they were all in their 80s, maybe their upper 80s in some cases. So that's pretty. Like, if you hit 80, like, oh yeah, that's you were here for a while.
Well, Dikembe Mutombo had brain cancer, which, you know, it's just incredible that I don't know if anybody knew that, and then out of nowhere, he just dies of brain cancer. Like, holy cow.
There's some statistic that if you're 7 feet tall or close to it, that like the chances of you living past 60 are almost nothing. There's some statistic that if you're really tall, you don't live very long at all. I don't know what that statistic is, so don't hold me to it in any way, but still.
Don't worry. I don't think anyone's gonna hold it against you. How do you feel like the taller you are, kind of the sooner your death comes?
It's a thing. I mean, you got more cells that potentially can have more things going wrong. Like, shorter people tend to live longer lives.
So I don't have too much to bring up. I did want to ask you one question or one of a couple of questions that I was thinking of. So everyone knows that Hurricane Helene hit the Florida, the Panhandle area, Tampa, went up into the Carolinas. And this kind of goes along with your space comment. Is there any more of a helpless feeling, you think, than storm surge? Because you know it's coming, and there's nothing you can do about it. Just get out of its way. It's going to damage everything in your house. There's nothing you can do about it.
I'm a former news reporter, covered a number of hurricanes. John still works in the news. There's nothing like water. Water it's unstoppable, and it ruins everything. It just ruins everything, and all that comes with it in terms of the diseases and the conditions and the mold. Water just ruins everything, and you can't at least a wildfire. You can do back burns. You can try to fight a wildfire. There's nothing you're doing against water. All
right, Oasis, they got back together. Do you give a shit? Because I do not.
No.
Do you think Oasis is popular because of the time that they produced music in, or because people actually care about two brothers who sometimes are mad at each other, break up, and then get back together?
I think they're one of those bands that tapped into kind of the spirit of the time. I think that they did that. I wouldn't know if I would look back on their music and be like, oh, that was really good.
I'm sure there's many people, by the way, right now that are pissed off at us.
Is Oasis supposedly good? I would never be like, maybe I'm sad, man. I think that just tapped into a time.
Speaking of, somebody posted this the other day. I can't take credit for this. That Jelly Roll is just the American country male version of Adele.
I don't know who Jelly Roll is. But yeah, I think
you don't know who Jelly Roll is?
I don't know who Jelly Roll is. I don't listen to country music.
But how do you not even know who he is as a person? He's everywhere.
I don't listen to country music. If you've heard one country music song, you've heard all of the songs for the next 5 years. You only need to listen to country music once every 5 years.
But it has nothing to do with like him just being a country artist. Like he's bigger than country music.
Obviously not. I don't know who he is.
Yeah, no shit.
So if he's that big, I would know who he is. I'm just telling you, man. You listen to one country song every 5 years, you're good. They're all the same.
They are. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I just can't believe. I thought you almost said that you had never heard of Adele either, and then we were going to have issues.
Adele is a uniquely talented individual with a wonderful personality. I like Adele. So whoever Jelly Roll is, he's no Adele.
Is that true about Adele? Because I feel like
I have no idea.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know what to believe less, that or the fact that Taylor Swift is purposefully trying to stay out of the limelight at Kansas City Chiefs games now. People now are asking, where is she? All right, you ready to move on to our top 5?
Oh, it's time. The Outlaw Candle Connoisseur rides again. Candle of the month.
Man, I'm so happy. I was hoping you would have forgotten, because then I wanted to cut you off and be like, no, it's Candle of the Month time. But you definitely you came through.
You
so
texted me about it like 4 times about it's Candle of the Month today.
Yeah, man, I'm excited.
It's okay.
All right.
Did you bring the candle like you've been saying you're going to bring the candle?
I did not bring the candle, and I have a reason for that, but it's not a believable reason, to be honest.
Okay, well, let's hear the reason.
So my father-in-law was in town last week, and he stayed in the basement, which is where I have most of my candles. And he was moving around like a Tupperware, one of those big blue Tupperware bins, and set it on top of one of my candle boxes. Just happened to be the candle that was in there that I was going to be using for this episode. The weight from the blue box caved in the top of the other box and cracked like 5 or 6 candles.
How many? Wait, you have a box that's just containing nothing but extra candles?
I have 2 boxes, and I have like 2 things under my basement sink of candles.
So how many total candles do you have just sitting in your house at any one time?
I mean, I don't know. Probably a little less than 50.
You have 50 candles in your house? And a little less than 50. So that really means you've got 75. 75. That means you have 1,000. Wait, if you have 75 candles, let's assume that each one is $10, which is not true. That's $750 worth of candles that are just sitting around your house. You probably have $1,200 worth of candles around there, right? Because what's your average candle? $20?
Yeah, you could say that.
So
That's fair.
You have $1,500 worth of candles in your house at any one time.
I mean, is somebody going to come and steal my candles?
I mean, they will now. You want to tell me your address?
No, I don't.
Were you devastated? What was your reaction when you saw your candles had been crushed? He crushed like $500
it wasn't even about
worth of candles then.
No, it was a pure accident. He didn't mean to do it. He didn't really say, to be honest with you, he didn't really say anything. I found it the next day, and his response was, "Oh, I guess I did hear a couple of things break, but I didn't think it was anything important."
What? Wow. What? He doesn't respect you as a man.
He doesn't, no. But that's fine.
He basically just took the thing that you cherish most in life, crushed it, and didn't even bother to acknowledge its existence to you.
Yeah, well.
That's what he did to you. You were like, "Hey, Dad, look at this thing I painted in school today." And he just crumpled it up and threw away. He just crumpled it up in front of your face and threw it away.
Let's not
get
into what Papa Scholl used to say. I don't think I'd have candles. I don't think I had any candles when I lived with him. And that's nothing against him, just the way that I grew up.
Okay, well, I guess you grow up without candles. You just have $1,500 worth of candles sitting around your house. Anyway, what is the damn candle?
I think that I should get to have a friggin' T-shirt that says the Candle Connoisseur with me holding a candle with a whip.
I don't think anything's stopping you. Maybe show some initiative.
No, that is not something that I'm going to create. Because I
think I should have this thing and someone should just give it to me. I'm not going to put any effort in creating it. I like it.
Yeah, duh. Me being here every Monday is enough for the people, Nick.
Oh, okay.
If they wanted more,
Me being
they
here
would
is enough.
demand more.
Okay, all right. Hey, man, know your worth.
I'm worth a lot. All right. So head over to BJ's. Why is that funny?
No reason. Somebody
Go
named BJ
to
told me a good
BJ's.
joke. Somebody named BJ told me a good joke the other day.
If you're not familiar with BJ or BJ's, they are a wholesaler like Costco or whatever you have around you. I don't know if you have a BJ's near you, but you probably do. So they have several different lines of candles. They have one that they teamed up with Yankee Candle, and it's called Witch's Brew.
Ooh.
So go to BJ's, to the deli counter first, and then stop by the candle section.
There's a deli
And
counter
get
in
you-
the BJ's? They're slanging meat at BJ's?
They're slanging mate.
Oh, get your
Get
sausage at BJ's. Get your sausage cared for at BJ.
Yeah. Anyways, get your Witch's Brew candle, 3-wick. Gonna run you about $20. It has like a kind of a black licorice cherry type of smell, but goes well so far with all the Halloween stuff we put up, and it just kind of gets you in the season. It's kind of cool. The artwork on it is pretty awesome, and I never thought I'd find it. We are Costco members, but we got a free trial at BJ's, and I got to tell you, BJ's kind of coming through on some things. So
Can't go wrong with BJ.
cannot go wrong with BJ.
Truer words have probably never been spoken. Like, it's hard to go wrong. Right? Like, even if you're not doing it well, you're still doing it. So it really doesn't even matter. Right? Like, you just keep going eventually.
It all changes when you get older. Anyways.
Oh, you get less, I get more.
Oh, boy. I figured you would enjoy that for not only the store name, but also the candle. So that's it. Check it out, BJ's. Witch's Brew. It's a good Halloween-esque candle.
Did you say the price, by the way? Did you say the price?
Yeah, it's about $20. Tax probably about $22. It's normal price, like you said. I have $1,500 worth in my house, so
I cannot believe you have that many boxes of candles.
Don't tell me to put thought into something. I'm buying candles just to buy effing candles, all right?
Yeah, that's an addiction. You're addicted to just buying candles.
I'm just trying. I just want, once a month, our listeners and viewers to have the best suggestion that I can make.
How much time a day do you spend looking at candles on the internet? Like, okay, because I do this, that when I log on to the internet for the day, when I'm supposed to be working or doing something else, like I'm going to check certain sites. Are you checking for candles every time you log on to the internet?
No, but I am subscribed to, like company newsletters and things. So like anytime something comes out, I'll open it in my email and it takes me to their page or, I don't understand why it's so funny.
It's not funny for anybody else to do. It's funny for you to do. Because I just can't believe it. No, do what you like, man. Whatever makes you happy. If you love candles, love candles.
I'm not even sure how this even started. I mean, we probably have to go back to 2021 or something. But
how Candle of the Month got started? Some random conversation about something. Okay, are you ready for our top 5?
I am. Let's do it.
So our top 5 are top 5 least rewatchable movies and TV shows. So something that you watched, you liked it, but you would never watch that again. What's your number 5?
My number 5, we're going to start in the TV show realm for me, and that is The Walking Dead.
I have never seen that, but I heard that the quality of that decreased greatly.
Yeah, it was, after probably the first or second season, it's almost, in my opinion, like it became just episode filler episodes for 8 of them, and then the season finale was anything that was going to happen happened, and then there was just kind of that recycle over and over again.
Oh, it's like 8 episodes of nothing. Then everything happens at the last minute, and then it's like, okay, start over again. You got to watch a whole another season. Yeah, that's a little annoying.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Uncut Gems. I just
Okay.
can't handle that much anxiety. Like, I don't want to be
I
that anxious again.
I don't remember. I don't think I've seen that movie. I don't think I have. Or
It's
show. Is it?
it's surprising that it's Adam Sandler and Kevin Garnett. Like, two people you don't think are going to be somehow great is Adam Sandler and Kevin Garnett, and you're like, oh, they did a really good job in that movie.
I'm sorry. Did you say Adam Sandler and Kevin Garnett?
Yeah, and they were both great.
Like the ex-basketball player? Huh.
Yep. And the comedian, they were fantastic in it. They did a great job.
Never. Never ever would have thought that at all. So,
well, watch it. You'll watch it once and then be like, I can't watch that again.
I feel like I could put any Adam Sandler movie on my list, really, that I don't have to watch it ever again.
You could make a pretty strong argument that Adam Sandler is the most unrewatchable star, because pretty much any movie that he's been in, I've never watched again. Yeah, I can't think of a single Adam Sandler movie that I've been like, I'll watch that again.
Him and Seth Rogen are probably up there for me. Like, there hasn't been one Seth Rogen movie I've seen where I was like, yeah, I'd like to go back and watch that again.
I would agree with that. I don't rewatch a lot of Seth Rogen movies either. What's your number 4?
All right, so no one's going to believe this, but this is the absolute truth if you know me. But any of the Fast and the Furious movies after the first one.
Oh, yeah, there's no reason to rewatch that. That's just like dumb fun.
Yeah, it's just like you watch it once, you're like, okay, this is cool. Cars flipping, stunts, acting's horrible. I don't need to watch it again.
You can't actually put any thought into a Fast and the Furious movie. Like, if you put any thought into that, it's like, wait, how did somebody who was a mechanic become a super spy? Like, did they have any training? They're just super spies now. Okay. Yeah. I would agree. That makes sense. I don't have it on my list, but that's a good one. My number 4 is Joker. I never thought about watching that movie again, even though I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably only go back to watch it just because, I want to see if I missed something. But yeah, I could see that.
Okay. Number 3?
So this is kind of all encompassing, which isn't fair, but really any of like the really popular family sitcoms, like Friends, Seinfeld, Big Bang Theory. Like, I have no interest in going back and rewatching any of those, like, at all.
I can see that. I think that that's hard because I think for a family sitcom to be really popular at a certain time, it also has to tap into that certain time.
Sure.
And then once it's over, you really can't go back.
Yeah, yeah, right. You're absolutely right. A lot of those are like going back and watching Full House now. You're like, well, that's kind of creepy. Like,
or like even Friends. Like, I rewatched an episode of Friends years ago because I was at somebody's house and they were watching it. And I was like, why was this ever good?
Yeah, right? It's not good.
It's not. My number 3 is Requiem for a Dream.
Okay, another one where I know I've seen it, but yeah, I couldn't tell you much about it and don't care to.
Okay. Yeah, it's a hard one to watch.
So my number 2, once again, this is kind of a series. But any of the Jurassic Park movies after the first one.
Oh, I don't even know if I've seen them. I think the first Jurassic Park movie turned me off of all other Jurassic Park movies. Like, I didn't even ever need to see another Jurassic Park movie. Like, I saw the first one.
Oh, and it was great, right? It's like mind-blowing.
Right. You couldn't ever do better than that. There was never. You were never going to top the first one.
Yeah.
So why make it again?
Never.
Yeah, that might be one of those movie franchises where the first one was the best one. And you could you just couldn't ever make a better movie than that.
Absolutely. 100%. Not even close.
What number are we on?
We're on your number 2.
My number 2 is a tie between a couple of movies because I couldn't really decide. but they're all ones that like, oh, I couldn't watch that again. That was kind of disturbing. So my number 2 is Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, Black Swan, and then Prisoners.
Okay, don't know what the last one is, but I've seen the first two, and I agree with you.
Yeah, those are hard. Let me make sure I got actually the right. It is Prisoners, I think. It's with like what's his name? Oh yeah, I could never. Maybe that's not the right movie. Oh no, that is. I could never watch that movie again. I was like, whoa, that was a lot. Not doing that again.
Just. So out of the 3 of those movies, if you had to watch one again, if you had to, which one would you pick?
Probably Black Swan, I think, was the best of them. But even then, I would be like, oh, I'd watch Black Swan again. No, I'm not going to watch Black Swan again. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. What's your number 1?
Probably not popular choices, but I have 2 at my number 1, and that is Scarface and The Godfather.
Oh, you could. Why those?
I have no interest, and I've seen them, and it's like those are movies where you pick up, and maybe it's because of how I'm not saying they're not well done movies, but like I can't go back and rewatch Scarface. Like I already know it all. I don't want to see dudes getting chopped up or terrible accents, or anything. Like I'm over it. I've seen it. Let's move on.
But The Godfather is like a classic in subtlety. Like, that's a movie that you can notice different things each time when you watch it. So I can kind of understand Scarface. Like, all right, it is kind of a typical, like, type of that movie. Like, oh, yeah, this is what happens. Here's the rise. Here's the fall, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? It does follow a similar pattern. But I don't know why you got The Godfather on the list. That's going to get you insulted.
Just to stir it up a little bit.
My number 1 is Game of Thrones. The ending of Game of Thrones completely ruined ever rewatching Game of Thrones again. Because even though I enjoyed the first 6 seasons, just knowing what happened in the last 2 means I can't watch. It ruined the whole series for me.
I mean, I think I could go back and rewatch Game of Thrones regardless, just because there's so much happening in the 6 or 7 seasons it was on. So I wouldn't let the ending ruin me going back. Like, I may not watch the ending again, but I would go back and watch other episodes for sure.
Yeah, I thought that I could do that, but then I wasn't able to, just because knowing, but like, oh yeah, but that's how it ended. It just had so much promise. What's your honorable mention?
It was really hard for me to kind of nitpick like specific movies, if I can say that. I did put like any of the Avengers movies. Like,
oh yeah, comic book movies aren't super rewatchable. You can rewatch scenes on YouTube, but not the movie.
Yeah, like, so then it got me thinking, what are like really rewatchable things? It's really just kid stuff, really, like Disney movies. But I also put anything that's won Best Picture in the Academy Awards, but I don't think that's right.
Yeah, but those aren't really like generally good movies. I'm never like, oh yeah, I want to watch that.
So what about you?
Schindler's List is on there.
Yeah, that's a heavy one. That's
really
definitely
watch,
a one-time watch.
Not gonna rewatch Schindler's List. Most of mine I used up in combination with other things. Other ones are like Manchester by the Sea is one that I've heard. Melancholia is a movie that I started watching, but it was like, oh, I'm not finishing that. That was too intense. Yeah. How have you not finished that drink yet?
It's almost gone.
You've been drinking out of that thing like every 3 seconds for the last 42 minutes, and you haven't finished it? What flavor?
You happy now? It's gone.
I am, actually.
You can have heartburn, but it's gone.